Shut up and sit down.
Hello, everybody. It is the best time of year. It's that time of year where the snow is falling and the cold comes about and the sinuses go crazy and a cold issues itself into my body and then I get sick. And it's wonderful. It's great. That's what happened, everybody. Here we are, episode 223 of Third Shift. I am one of your hosts, Mr. Eric, with a stuffy nose and all the good things that go with it. And of course, with me is the Inglorious Bastard himself. I feel like that's like weird. I feel like I haven't said that in 100 years.
True, yeah.
It's strange.
It's literally only been 2 weeks, but it feels like forever.
I was gonna say, it's weird. It's almost like I brought it back from the dead, even though it's been a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. God. But yes, the Inglorious Bastard himself, Mr. Matt, is here today with me. We've got some stuff for you, some little things here, little things here, little things here, little things here. Uh-oh, he's stroking out. He's dead. Well, while he recuperates, Matt, how was your week?
I feel like it was a pretty good week, although I feel like it was also a bad week. I didn't do anything because there's nothing to do. So on the video game front, been playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. I play it every day, had a villager move out, found a cool robot ostrich jock dude who is now in my village. It's just fun and crazy, and I'm starting to get that itch, though. Like, I'm looking at my museum setup. It's right next to the shop, and they're kind of like in this corner on like a little peninsula, and I'm like, man, if I put that museum like dead center of the island, I could like do all kinds of stuff around it. I could put all my art pieces up around it. I could put some fossils all around. I'm starting to get that itch to like redo the whole island again, which is always fun. And it's always like lots of hours of work, but it always feels so good when you're doing it. So I'm getting that itch. It's going to happen. I feel like I got to like bulldoze everything. Not bulldoze, but pick up all the stuff, put it in storage, flatten out everything, rearrange all the rivers and stuff. And then just make it all fresh and hot and new again.
Woo!
And speaking of fresh and hot and new, I got 2 games that are fresh and hot and new. We played Borderlands 3 on the PS5 with a fresh and hot and new upgrade. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the episode. And then I found a fresh, hot and new way to play Godfall. Because I got into it and I was just not having fun. I was playing it the way that I was playing it before, not the way that you said to do it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm only going to play for half an hour. And that half an hour wasn't fun. I was just like, there's something about it I'm not digging. I got sad. I put the controller down and went, I shouldn't even play this anymore. And I went, no dummy. You spent the big monies, and this is something you do for the show anyway. So I was like, what can I do? I was like, well, let me switch up the Valor plate. Let me switch up my equipment. Let me switch all the things. And then I was like, you know what? Who cares? I also put it down to easy because I was fighting one of the hunt monsters, and it got to the point where it was like I had Zero's longsword out, and I was like, well, you can hit it twice and then you got to dodge because it automatically attacks you all the time. You got no chance to build up combos or anything. And I was like, okay, put it on easy. Now it plays like I feel like it should have played before. It plays like a fun combo-based brawler. Plus, I redid all my skills. So I got polarity attacks. I got timing attacks. I got the rampage mode that ups my attack speed. So I'm like, whoosh, 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 whoosh. And I'm like, now it's fun. Now I'm having fun. It's not some serious, like, I'm not that guy. I don't know what it was about it, but especially defending. I'd see the attack coming, and I'd hit the defend button, and he would go, I decided to put my arm out.
The slow as
the
snail's
shield.
Shield, yes. It's always just about dodge and roll. I don't even try with the shield anymore except to use it as the Captain America shield. That's all I use it for.
But that parry leaves him open for so much stuff. How can you have a cool parry mechanic and then the slowest shield in the world? I don't know. So I wasn't digging it, but I changed up my whole play style. I changed up all my skills, my weapons, my Valor plate, put it down to easy just to make it more fun. And it was more fun. I had a blast. I played for like an hour and a half on top of what I was already doing. I was like, this is it. This is the Godfall I wanted. Then on top of that, been playing Spider-Man Miles Morales. Oh, that game's so good. You can hear me talk about how good it is on the What You Playing Third Shift. If you're on that $3 tier, you can check that out. Then also been playing Star Renegades. Oh, that game is so much fun. And I can't wait for this next run to be over because I'm going to amass enough intel to get the next permanent unlock that's going to make me recover half of your armor each time you camp, which is it's armor, but once it breaks off of you, it doesn't regenerate. So now every 3 fights, I'm going to get 50% of my armor back, which will let me be a lot more reckless or just wild and crazy in my attacks and manipulating all the enemies. I can't wait for that. I picked one of the shield classes and I was doing great, but it was like, okay, put the aggro on the shield, have the shield defend, so that shield person could only just defend most of the time. Block for this character, guard that. But now, once I unlock that, then I can just go wild and crazy. People can get their armor blown off all the time. It doesn't matter. It's just going to regen and camp. Screw it. Because that's the last thing you do on every planet is that last encounter. You fight the commander, you camp, and then you fight the big behemoth. So I'm going to fight the commander, have a risky, fun time of it. It doesn't matter, blow off half my armor, because it's just going to regen. Then I'm going to be aces when I fight that behemoth. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so fun. And it is fun anyway. Just that tactical manipulation of the battlefield. Oh, so damn good. What have you been playing that's so damn good this week, my dear friend?
Several games, let me tell you, all right? First and foremost, World of Warcraft. I'm in it, boys and girls. I'm in it. I have just now maxed out level 60. I have still to get through the last part of the campaign. So I'm in the very last area, and I just got that story rolling like literally today before we got started on the show. So I'm just getting in there, and I'm like, what in the world? Because I was 60 like nobody's business. It was smooth, it was easy, it was fun, it was enjoyable. The storylines going through so far have been really cool. It's been a little strange because they're all tied together, but each zone is very much different, but for good reason this time around. It's not just like randomly doing it weird where, hey, it's a mountain zone now, and here's your forest zone now, which is something World of Warcraft's basically done in all forever. Most MMOs do it. But this time, there's reasons why they're all so very different. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. And then, of course, all these different realms have these different gods attributed to them. And it all ties into the overarching god of this reality or whatever you want to call it. So the story comes in together, but every area is so distinct and different in what it's doing that they're all unique and they're all very different. And every area is its own plot, its own story, its own leaders, its own issues and problems, etc., etc. So I've enjoyed all of them for various different reasons. And of course, later on, I'll report back which was my favorite, but I haven't done, like I said, the newest and the last one. So once that's all tied up, I'll be able to talk about the zones as a whole, which I probably won't do here. I'll probably do on, one of our other little shows for our patrons. Okay? That's where it'll probably be. So, with that being said, having a good time with it, busting out that Frost Mage. I considered going Fire Mage, but I don't know, man. I'm going to go do some research here soon and, see what the best spec is, where all the power's coming from, what's the easiest, what's the hardest, all that. And you know me, I'm not into the whole hard, super crazy rotations anymore, so whatever one's got a decent damage for a very simple rotation, that's where I'm going to be. And I suspect it'll probably be Frost, because I've been playing it for years, and secondly, typically Frost's rotation is usually a little bit easier than the others. So, with that being said, having a great time. We'll keep you posted. Well, we'll get through Borderlands real quick. Like Matt said, been playing Borderlands again, got in there on the PS5 version, 60 frames per second, all the little tweaks and upgrades here and there. It's glorious, it's beautiful. We'll talk about it a little bit more later in the show. And my last game on the list here, and this is the kind of weird one for me, was Destiny 2. I told you guys, got back into it. Having a lot of fun, enjoying it, but for many reasons, worried that, I don't know, I think it's changed. I think it's changed, because yesterday was the launch of the PS5 version of Destiny 2. 60 frames per second, the point of view filter, so you can kind of pan out and see more of your area and etc. This came through. And first off, the graphics, 4K, Ultra, all that good stuff is there. It is beautiful. And then you take 60 frames per second. Everyone's just flying around. Everything's just flying around. There's no hitches, no slow-mo, no blurring, no garbage here or there. And on top of it all, Destiny's always been like that funnel vision. Mm-hmm. All you can see is what's in front of you. Like, that's it. Everything else is non-existent. You gotta twirl to see anything. Nope. Not anymore. I finally got to pan it out so I get to see what I would see in any other game in the world you play besides Destiny. And it's changed it all. Now I'm just like, oh my god, this is what it was. This is what Destiny should have been. Why did it not have this? Why? I don't understand. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I can actually see everything around me, so I can see events taking place over yonder. I can see baddies spawning over in this area. I can choose where I want to go. If I'm riding on my Sparrow, I'm not limited to like this tiny narrow vision right in front of me. I can see all around, so I can say, okay, there's some boulders and crap over there. I'm going to want to swoop down over this bypass, get around over here, instead of just crashing into the boulders and then we'll run and do my double jump out and go figure out a different way because you can't see anything. So you're just hoping on a whim that was the right way to go. So it's so different. It's so cool. Like I got on for just a minute today. Like I was downstairs for like 5 minutes and I just loaded it up. Oh yeah. I got into the tower. I had to clean up some stuff from yesterday when I was playing a little bit and I went, man, this is good. I've just hopped around. Tower I've seen about a billion times. Just hop around like a little new fresh kid, on the block looking, ooh, it's so pretty. Well, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go see what it looks like over in this corner. Wow. Oh man, look at the traveler. He's marvelous. Wow. So right now it's hot. It's fresh. It feels new. It feels good. So I'm all about it. I'm in it to win it. I'm almost got the new Hawk Moon. They brought back the Hawk Moon, changed up a bit, but apparently must still be decent because I see lots of people rocking it already. So I went ahead with some buddies and we went through all the quest lines. I'm on the very last one, almost there, but I had to get off because I was sick and I needed to get some sleep. So I went to bed and, yeah, can't wait to get back on and play it. But that's what I've been doing this week, Matt. That's what I've been doing.
Not bad, but another thing that I've been doing this week is I've been looking up Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 because I always meant to get into the first game. Now the second game has released for Nintendo Switch. I can't say like PS4 and PS5 because that sounds dumb. The PlayStation systems, the Xbox systems, pretty much everything except for phones and PCs. If you don't know what Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 is, it's right there in the description. It's Puyo Puyo. It's also Tetris. This is the sequel to the original game. There you go. That's it. Go get it.
Boom. Done. It's pretty simple. It really is, folks. He shouldn't have to explain it. If you don't know what these things are, I don't know. There's something wrong with you. It really is.
That's 100% right. But if there is something wrong with you, I'll go into it a little bit. Everybody knows Tetris. You drop different blocks, different shapes, you clear lines, you get high scores. It's all cool. Puyo Puyo is a Japanese puzzle game, kind of in the same vein. You're dropping stuff down, but it's little Puyo Puyo little character things, and they're all different colors. You try to make matches of 4, but what's cool is they don't have to be just straight lines. They can kind of be like little steps up, one little square blob of them. So you make 4 of these little Puyos and then they disappear. The ones drop down. You get high scores based off of that. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 follows the first one in having a big adventure mode. So I guess it's a big, long story mode, silly story, lots of goofy characters, cute little anime characters all overreacting and having silly interactions with each other, as they try to prevent, the Puyo Puyo universe and the Tetris universe from combining and blowing everything up, and having Puyo Puyo and Tetris and Puyo Puyo Tetris battles all along the way. So that's the adventure mode. It goes on for quite a while. Some new things that come into the adventure mode I'll get into in a second, but outside of that adventure mode, if you just want to play Tetris or you just want to play Puyo Puyo, which a lot of the reviewers that I've heard, they were like, I spent 95% of my time just playing Tetris Endless Mode. I'm like, why are you playing this game then? Why don't you go play Tetris? But they do have endless modes for both. They also have swap modes, which were in the first game, but that's where you and your opponent start playing Tetris or Puyo Puyo, and then it switches to the other one, which is kind of interesting and fun, and it almost throws like a randomizer feel into it, because I'm really good at Tetris. I've never really played much Puyo Puyo in my life, so when I've played some of this in a swap game, I'll be kicking ass in Tetris. Like, no blocks building up, no nothing. I'm shooting garbage over to the other side, and then it'll swap both of you at the same time to Puyo Puyo. Now, I'm getting my ass kicked. The computer is doing awesome. Garbage blocks and blobs are falling all over my screen. I'm just like, oh god, I just gotta hold on until I can get back to Tetris and kick ass on that side. So you got that. You also have party modes where you can get separate items, like an item block will fall down, and if you clear a line or create a ball of Puyos around it, it'll explode and then affect your opponent, obscure their vision, or not allow them to rotate pieces for a while. Then on top of that, let's see, we've also got the one I'm most excited about outside of just the adventure mode is they've got a Big Bang mode, which gives you pre-made puzzles of blocks or Puyos, and you have to clear them as fast as possible. You know me, I love pre-made puzzles and all that stuff, so as soon as I heard that, I was like, I need to get this just because I'm going to look at that beautiful Tetris mess, and it's like, oh yeah, if I do this and this and this and this and this and this and this, whew, oh, all good. But then the big addition for Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 that wasn't in the first one, in that adventure mode, you now have skill battles in which you can take a team of 3 characters up against an enemy team of 3 characters, And each of those characters has different abilities that you can use to influence the Puyo Puyo or Tetris boards. You've got HP on this side, HP on that side. As you clear lines or match Puyos, you start doing attack damage over there. Some characters have defense skills that will block enemy attacks. Some have attack skills that help you do damage over here. So it just adds another wrinkle onto that formula that you already know. If you've played the first one, this adds that into it. If you haven't played the first one, this is basically the definitive edition of Puyo Puyo Tetris because it has all that stuff. It has the additional skill battles. You can collect cards to up your stats to have you even better in those skill battles. All kinds of crazy stuff. If you love puzzle games, if you love silly anime characters and silly stories, if you love Puyo Puyo, and if you love Tetris, you should pick this up. I'm thinking I'm going to have to pick it up because I love Tetris. And I would love to get better at Puyo Puyo. So this is the perfect opportunity for me to do both of those things. Hopefully you guys like it too. Like I said, it's out for everything but PC. That's coming in 2021 at some point. So get your Puyo Puyo and your Tetris on. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. How many more times can I say Puyo Puyo? It just sounds crazy. Puyo 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 Puyo
Puyo Puyo Puyo Puyo Puyo Puyo Puyo Puyo. And while you're over there going Puyo Puyo, doing some weird things, I'm not sure what, everyone else is going to be playing Cyberpunk 2077.
True.
Man. All right. So let's just be honest with it. Let's get it out right now. December 10th, Thursday, of course. Everybody in the world has been waiting for Project freaking Red. Well, it's Project CD Red's new title.
CD Project Red.
I always say it backwards. God, I don't know why. I got like some kind of dyslexia going on. It's weird. God.
This is what happens when you start Witcher 3 and you just go, I don't know, I'll just stop playing this forever.
You know what? Listen, it was 40 hours of play. It wasn't like 5 hours. It wasn't like I went, oh, this story's dumb and never even got anywhere.
But when you put 900 hours into the finished product, 40 hours is a piff and a poff and a bish and a bosh, you know.
That's true, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter. It's all irrelevant. Anyways, this game has finally come out. All right, and this is kind of a cheat one because I want to just go back and forth a little bit about it since there's really nowhere to talk about this per se. I mean, we might down the road if we both play it, but that's not guaranteed. So, well, I'll just go around to the beginnings here, the kind of humdrum. This game's been delayed like a million times. Like I said, December 10th, it's out for, and here's the first catch. PlayStation 4, the previous Xbox, whatever they called that system, I don't know. I'm not even going to try anymore. I'm
Xbox One. Just Xbox
Okay,
One.
there you go. Xbox One, the PC, you know, it's coming out in all those. It's in Stadia, but who cares?
Yeah.
Honestly. Here's the kicker. It's not coming out for the PlayStation 5.
Right.
Or the new Xbox, whatever that's called, because who cares?
The Xbox series of consoles, I guess. The series family.
The Series S and the Series X. All right. No, I just mess around. It's not coming out for those two. So before we get anywhere in this, that really bothers me because here's the deal. Here's part of the story. The reviews were very far and few between, given out to almost nobody. They won't let anybody use actual in-game footage that they recorded. It has to be the stock stuff that they give them. And it's only the PC that they've let people play and touch.
Right.
Now, we all know this last big delay was because they said it was looking real dirty and nasty on the PlayStation and such, and they wanted to try to get things fixed up and cleaned up before they released it. All right? So that had me instantly terrified and scared. I said, that's okay. I'll just play it on the PlayStation 5. And then, of course, they said, no. PlayStation 5 is not coming out till March. So if you want it on that system, you're going to have to wait a long extra time.
And from what I've seen, it's not that like a new disc is coming for the PS5, which I assume it will have to. But from what they've said, it'll just be the upgrade. Like you'll download the free upgrade from your PS4 disc to make it Super PS5 and Xbox Series X happy. For what they've said so far, it's not even just like a brand new like disc physical release.
No, it's just the upgrade.
Just buy the crappy one and put it in, and then in 3 months, you'll get a cool upgrade to make it shiny.
Or if you buy it digitally, you'll do just like everybody else has been doing with the PS5 upgrades. You'll own it, and then it'll say, hey, there's which version do you want? PS4, PS5. Right. You'll click PS5. It'll download the new PS5 version, and then it'll look gorgeous and be amazing. So you can imagine that the PS5 and then the Series X versions are going to play similar to the PC version. And the PC version is the one that was reviewed. And the PC version is the one that's currently being talked about. And it's coming back pretty good, pretty solid. It's got some really wonky reviews and everything else. And real briefly, This is one I'm definitely not going to sit here and talk your ear off about. Everybody knows what Cyberpunk 2077 is. First-person RPG made by your homeboys who did The Witcher 3. So everyone's got these huge expectations, these high hopes for this thing being fantastic. There was rumors about it being hundreds of hours long. Reality is apparently you can beat it in like 20 hours. However, and we'll get into this part, that's only if you mainline it and just code right on through the whole system real fast. Lots of weird things going on. In this game, it's in the future. You're this V. You create this character, male, female. Give them all the attributes, all the stats, all the looks you want, and away you go. You meet up. You can be a corporate. You can go street thug. You can go outlander.
I think like nomad or something.
Yeah, nomad. There you go, the nomad. Depending on what you do, the story starts in whole different areas, and you get whole sets of different like little minor perks throughout the game and choice voice options, etc. from whom you're interacting, which all makes sense. And it kind of tailors the game to you and what you like based off what you chose. Along the line, you'll be able to choose from like tech guns, regular guns, melee, swords, blades. You'll be able to go into all different skill trees and pick out your little whole thing. Do you want to be stealthy with a ninja sword? Do you want to go in with big old rail guns and just shoot everyone in the face and combo of in between? You get to use your skill trees and do all the things you want to do. It's just like every other game, basically, in that sense. That's Cyberpunk 2077 in a nutshell. There you go. Have a blast. But here we go. Here's the thing I want to talk about, okay? Because I'm not reiterating all the garbage. This game, they've been making forever. All right. It's been years and years of favorite game of the show, this, and it comes in everywhere. The reviews are wild. Like, some reviews are like, this is game of the year. This is God tier. This is amazing. And this is what you invest in it. It was IGN over there. I was looking at that one, and he was just talking about how ecstatic and loving he was of this game, and how that every side quest like could change the outcome of your story, and not could, but does. So you'll get these different endings, all these different options accessible to you because you played through those side quests and you lived inside of the city.
And that's what I'm so excited about. One of the reviews I saw that was, we expected the main quest to be like this big redwood tree with a few branches off the top, but instead it's like a wild bush of just every side quest is so important, and every character in every side quest is so well developed. And maybe it was the same review, maybe it was a different one. They were saying, yeah, I was talking about the side quest that I did with my buddy, and he said he had absolutely no option to even do it because he said one wrong thing to this other person hours upon hours ago before that, and now it changed his whole avenue of everything in the game. That's what I'm most excited about. Finding crazy new characters and crazy new little scenarios that I can like worm and like rat hole my way through, meet all this crazy stuff, and then when you play it and you're just the rat king of the sewers, and I'll be like, dude, didn't you meet with the golden guy that brought you up to the tower and shined you down? And no, I didn't do that at all.
That's where I think things change, because of course before I'd seen the IGN review, I'd seen, I think it was Polygon's review, I'd seen EGM's, etc., and everything was getting mixed, and they're like, well, it's really buggy, we're super worried because we can't use our own footage, they're forcing us into using their footage, and all this it had me like, oh crap. And then I was listening to another one that was talking about how the main story is actually not that interesting, it was just kind of humdrum. No big deal. They thought the side quests were really cool, but they're not really about side questing. So they thought it was just an okay game. And that had me worried. I was like, oh, okay, crap, So all in all, just all over the place.
Yeah.
People were upset about the transgender options, non-binary options. I agree. It sucks if you can't be what you want to be, but like to give the game a low score because of it, I don't know. The reviews are everywhere, all over the place. It is still getting a high Metacritic, and it's all based off the PC. And then here's the kicker. Even with that being said, even in the great glowing reviews, the bugs and problems are a pretty high, pretty high. There's a large occurrence of them. Now, we're about to get the PS4 version of this. For those of us who aren't getting it on PC, which I'm not, because my PC doesn't have a graphics card that I think is going to make this look really darn good, so why bother? So I'm going to end with the PlayStation 4 version of this, and I'm worried, because they didn't give it out, they're not giving it out, they gave everybody the PC versions because they knew and they know that PC version is the one that looks nice, the one that plays the best it can play, and we're going to get a different game with PS4. And it's got me still scared, even though I've read it and heard enough reviews now that I'm no longer worried about the story, because if you love to immerse yourself in a game, this game's going to be for you. Because like you said, every story is going to change the outcome of the ending. It's going to change the outcome of who you meet and who you roll with and things you do. And that is freaking awesome. That's so much fun to have conversations about. So they haven't touched or talked about the PS4's versions or anything. And we still have so many bugs and issues with the glorious big dog PC version.
Well, two things I'll say about that. I mean, yes, they haven't allowed them to do pre-release reviews of anything but the PC version with all their B-roll footage and everything. But as soon as it actually releases, they are going to be able to show that. The IGN review said, hey, we're going to actually go back and splice in our own footage after the release. They just won't let you do pre-release stuff with anything else.
Yeah, but I can't wait a day to go look. I just got to go to the store on my way home on the 10th and buy the game. It's too late. It's too late.
Well, see, that was the thing I wanted to rant about, is why is it so important to have your review out on Tuesday or Monday or whatever? It's so important. I couldn't possibly wait until the day. You have to do it now so that when I say stuff like, oh, there's some bugs and stuff, like I saw some graphical glitches in the ending cutscene that I can't show you. So then people in the YouTube comments will go, haha, lol, knew this game was going to suck. It's garbage. Hee hee hee. What was the graphical glitch? What did it look like? What was it? Can I see it? Was it minor? Because the ones that I heard were like, oh, well, sometimes like the objects in the environment didn't load. So they would be like working on a terminal that I couldn't see. Yeah, big deal. I deal with that all the time. I do feel that, the console players, you and me, are going to get the downgraded version, but at the same time, maybe that'll be a little bit more stable because it's not pushing out 18,000 high-end textures in every single millisecond of gameplay. Maybe they went, all right, texture pack, you get the B-level texture pack, so it's going to load up faster. I don't know. It could happen. I'm still excited to play it because I don't care about graphical glitches. I don't give a crap.
Well, the graphical glitches don't bug me. It's mostly just the graphics and the way the game plays. Like, I think you referred to the IGN review, and he also did state that it wasn't just terminals and weird things. He said there was actually moments where there were objects that he was supposed to make a choice on.
True.
That weren't loading in, so he couldn't make a choice because he had no idea what they were even looking at or talking about.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then they would start shooting him, and he'd just murder him, and then apparently, well, that was his choice because he had no idea what they were looking at. That kind of stuff. I'm like, well, that sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want that to happen to me. So those types of things. But, with you saying that out loud, maybe you're right. Maybe since we're going to get probably the C to D tier level of this game on the PS4, it's just going to be so crappy looking that there will be no bugs because, well, it probably could be played on your PS3. You know what I mean? So maybe we'll play it and it'll be just fine. It'll be smooth as butter. It'll just look like garbage. And that's fine. Hey, who cares, right? I don't need ray beams in my eyes. I don't need dust settling after I blew up some building. I don't need any of that.
And I mean, what everybody's been saying is, oh man, this is releasing with like Bethesda levels of bugs and graphics. Ha ha ha. Like, yeah, but everybody still loved Skyrim when it came out. Everybody played that when it was buggy as hell and not very good looking. So this will be better than that. So it's just,
hands down.
You've already conditioned yourself to know exactly what they're talking about. So I don't know. I'm still excited and hyped just because I was in total media blackout about this game up until the point where we discussed how we're not going to get the next gen version right away. And I was like, okay, if I'm not going to play it for 3 months, I'm going to watch some stuff. And then I watched some stuff and read some stuff and I went, I can't wait 3 months. I got to play the inferior version now. And then probably play it again like Persona 5 Royal version. Like, oh man, now it's shiny and fast and hot and cool and optimized for my next gen system in 3 months. So,
and that's kind of what I decided.
I don't know what to think about this version, that version, upgrades, downgrades, glitches, story issues, blah, blah, blah. I'm just excited to play it now because now I've seen it in action to some degree and which I hadn't at all before. And I'm like, wow, that looks amazing.
I'm just ultimately a little disappointed that they decided to wait on the PS5 versions, etc. Because I have the PS5 now, and like I talked about earlier, I was playing Destiny 2 finally on the PS5 version of it. It's a game changer. It really is. There's a night and day difference in how the game plays and looks. And I know now that there's going to be a night and day difference from the PS4 to PS5 version. Mm-hmm. But if this game isn't amazing, isn't like just blow my socks off, super amazing, I'm never going to know because I'm going to play the PS4 version. I'm going to have a good time with it, and then I'm going to put it away, and I'll never bring it out again. But if it is amazing, truly amazing, then I will get to have that second playthrough on the PS5 going with a Corpo or something else, whatever I decide to go with, and have a different experience. But there's big ifs, you know what I mean? That's a big if, and it just is going to really kind of always bug me that I got to play the old poopy version instead of the clean, crisp, beautiful version because I didn't wait the 3 months. But so there you go. Cyberpunk 2077. It's out. I think it's going to be great. It looks like it's going to be great. But you know what? Go read a lot of reviews. And I'm telling you all right now, do that. Because they range all over the place. And a lot of different people have a lot of different issues for why they love it and why they hate it and this and that. So you got to find somebody that you kind of roll with, somebody that is like you when you're looking at your reviews, because there's a lot of different tastes out there.
But there's only one taste when it comes to Golden Keys. We got shift codes for Golden Keys at Borderlands Game of the Year edition. And they taste so good. So hit up the Twitter, the Reddit forums, the Instagram, hit up your preferred shift code provider, get yourself some free loot and a fantastic game. I was gonna segue into Borderlands 3 because we were talking about new hot, shiny discussions, but I must obey the show notes. We must do it in the right order. We have to do it.
No, we don't. Talking about shiny, cool crap, man, and Godfall came out with these really cool, shiny new patch notes, all right? We ain't following the show notes because I didn't look at the Bunkers Badass playthrough, Matt. So I can't tell you about it. It's impossible.
I forgot about it. I mean, I retweeted it and they were like, yeah, we're about to go live. And I clicked on it and it wasn't ready yet. And I clicked on it like 2.5 hours later. I was like, I'm sure it'll be like a 1 hour thing. And they were still going. It was full on D&D. They had Randy Varnell in there. He was telling the story and he was getting all happy about it and all excited. And I was like, this is going to be awesome. But I don't have time to watch it right now, especially because we're recording the show pretty soon after that. So none of us had free time to go do it. But if you're into D&D like it all and good storytelling and Randy Varnell, who gets very excited about good storytelling and having fun, you should definitely check it out. I'm definitely going to check it out. They also had Morgan Webb. I think they had someone from IGN as well. And then 2 of the voice actors. They had Amara's voice actor and was it Winnie's voice actor or Hammerlock's? It was Winnie's, right?
I think Winnie's, yeah.
I think Winnie's. So lots of cool people playing a really cool version of D&D. The Bunkers a Badass game. Check it out with IGN. Check it out on the IGN YouTube. Or I retweeted 1 million times from our Twitter account. Go to @ThirdShiftME and find the links to it. It'll be great. And then we got them great patch notes, which did nothing that affect me because it was a lot of multiplayer stuff.
Yes. It was a lot of endgame multiplayer stuff. Little things here and there. It didn't really change mine or your view or, world at all. But I am grateful that, once again, they threw them out there. And they did do some cool stuff, collision things, and problems with the endgame Tower Trials.
Yeah.
So once we get to that point, hey, more things they have fixed, the better it is, better for us. So while we're slow pokes getting to the point where we actually can do something in there, hey, we don't have to worry about any of the problems that all these yahoos have been having. And not us.
That's very true. And I will say, one of my favorite parts, once I got Godfall the way I wanted it, and was playing it the way I wanted it, you get a taste of the tower when you go from the Earth realm up to the Water realm. I loved it. I loved just enemies just warping in here and there. It would stop at a place, you'd run out, enemies would warp in, they have treasure and loot around there for you to get. I enjoyed it. So hopefully, if the Tower of Trials just continues on like that, as like a little endless gauntlet all the way up, I'm going to be digging it. I enjoyed it. I liked running around with my spear and my dual blades, just having a riot.
Well, while you're having a riot there, we need to be having a riot in another game too, Matt, because one little snippet that we don't have in here that I'm adding is we've got like 3 weeks left to play Battleborn, and it's gone forever.
That's right, yeah.
Okay? So, hey, a reminder to anybody out there who loved and played the hell out of some Battleborn, and a reminder to us on the show, we got about 3 weeks before that game's gone. Literally gone for good. It's shut down, gone. Now you cannot play it. So we got to get on and play it, Matt.
We do have to get on. We got to do those story apps.
Oh, yeah.
At least 1 to 18 more times a piece. And then, speaking of Battleborn, another piece about Battleborn that's not on the show, not in the show notes or anything, is I saw, all since Battleborn launched, they've been doing like these sly, little sneaky, like Battleborn tournaments. Another one just popped up just a few days ago. Mental Mars was like, Battleborn. I was like, what? Another Xbox Battleborn tournament on Twitch that I had no idea about? And I hit retweet so fast. So if you're into the Battleborn and the tournament and the watching of the Battleborn tournaments, this is for you. Go check it out. Follow the link from the retweeted Mental Mars tweet that he retweeted Go find it on our Twitter account at ThirdShiftME.
Indeed. Check it out, because it's the last one you're ever going to get. It's the last one they're doing. Game's gone. And it makes me sad. But we'll be in there, and we'll tell you about our last playthrough of Battleborn in the coming week or two. Woo.
Hey, you know what? Over this last weekend, I did my first and last playthrough of Arms Race in Borderlands 3. You and I got in there. We booted it up on the PS5. We got in there. We were dumb. You didn't download any DLCs. I didn't download the Arms Race DLC. We figured it out as we were downloading it. We jumped in there. And I will say, I'll preface this 100% by saying, my side was not working very well. As soon as we jumped in there was no voiceover. There was no fun. There was no nothing. It was just dead silence. It was the little music in the intro room. And I just stood there and I looked at Eric, and his character kind of booped and bopped around. And he was like, wow, look at these textures and look at this stuff, which was impressive because our first time seeing some new hot textures and frame rates and stuff. And I went, but nothing's happening. And then we dropped down on the planet and we were running around shooting stuff. And I was like, but nothing's happening. And we run around with my buddy shooting things, and we killed the boss, and I was like, yeah, but nobody said anything. The whole time it was that right there. That like 2-3 seconds. That was the only thing. And then just me going, pew pew, and Eric going, pow pow. Whoa, I got a blue. Yeah. And then just Nothing for me. My side glitched out. It was no fun. There was no personality, no fun, no nothing. Oh, it's just the worst.
Man, Matt, I don't know, but it shouldn't be your last time then, because you didn't even experience it.
But what if it happens again? I'm traumatized. What if it happens to me again? I'll just run screaming from the room.
You can't live your life like that, you know? I'll say this. We got through there, we played it, and unfortunately yours was completely bugged out, so you didn't get to hear them talking and going back and forth. There's a lot of back and forth. They commentate on when you're losing, winning, that kind of thing going on. So you get some banter here and there, and it was fun. It was enjoyable. It's definitely different because instead of having all your wacky abilities and all the extra booms and bangs, it's just gunplay. So it feels a little bit different when you're playing too, because the enemies go down quicker, and you seem to go down quicker. It's kind of refreshing in a way.
But the weird thing about it was, we re-rolled new characters, got up to the auto level of 13. But what I thought was weird about it, you got no skills, you got no abilities, you got no nothing, you got no inventory, but you do still gain experience and level up. And that's what let us beat that boss. Because we were fighting him and we were doing a bad job. Then you leveled up, then I leveled up, which instantly auto healed us all the way. And then we just tank and spanked him the rest of the way down. I feel like it's weird to not have abilities, not have any of the Borderlands experience, but you still gain levels and level up, and it affects your character immediately in the moment. You're now level 14, pushing full shields, full health, auto up from when you were down. It felt really weird. I mean, I appreciated it because we did it and we beat the boss and extracted some good loot we could use, and I would continue to use later in the night, but it just felt really weird.
Yeah, that part I agree with that. It did seem strange since nothing else was there. It didn't really bother me just because that's like a mechanic that's been around forever. So
yeah, true.
I didn't really put any thought into it. But now that you say that and why everything else was gone, why wouldn't that be kind of cut off? But on the other hand, there's no way that you could do that because no one's going to play if you don't level up or get anything from it. Except for a gun or two, when you can go get the same guns out in the normal game, except for, they do have a special loot pool, but, your chances of getting those are slim, and you're most likely just going to get some other stuff that you can go get out in the real world or whatever you want to call it.
And I guess without the leveling in place and you having a level when you go in there, it'd be too hard to roll that gun. Like I'm extracting this gun, but now it has to roll level 53 stats or level whatever stats when I get back to my other kit. So it makes sense. It just felt weird in the moment. I was like, what? Level up? Huh?
I want to try it again. I want to do it a couple times, but I think overall it isn't going to be my shtick. I like having the goofy stories going on and all the add-ons. I love my Moes, and I love the Iron Bear coming out. And of course I'm playing Zane now, so I love having the shoulder cannons and the sentry bots. I want all the flares. Sorry, I'm sick, everybody. So my throat hurts. You have to excuse me. So I like having all that extra flair. I just feel like that is Borderlands. That's what makes Borderlands. And it proved itself because after we did the arms race, we went back and we were like, all right, well, let's start fresh. Let's go do the handsome jackpot and have a good time. And you know what? That's exactly what we did. We got new skills, leveled up, got new guns, drank beers, had a great time. Digby Vermouth was just a character who, when I played sober and just chilling, didn't care about. Kind of just, okay, ha ha ha, yo. And then we went to the story. But nope, had some beers. I mean, I went, oh, it's my boy, it's Dan, laughing, just going nuts and having a good time with it. And I went, oh yeah, this is the Borderlands. This is where it's at. This is what's always been. Man, God, what a day.
I still want to play Arms Race at least one more time to actually hear it as it's actually going, to not have the audio all bugged out. But I was in a sour mood and you were like, let's get in that Handsome Jackpot. And I was like, all right, man. But then I started going through there, seeing Handsome Jack, hearing all the crazy quips from everybody, activating his holograms and hearing him blah, 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 blah. And then walking around, running around, looking around, and everything is crisp and shiny and gorgeous and beautiful. It's exactly the same as when we upgraded the Handsome Collection from PS3 to PS4. I was like, I didn't realize the previous game apparently looked like garbage because now it looks amazing. Mm-hmm. And I know it didn't look like garbage, but everything's so crisp and clear and fun. And we were running around with new characters, with new abilities. You level up. Oh man, I can't wait to figure out where to put my skill point at. Oh, I'm going to have to respec because this little heal ball thing isn't going to work because as we're drunk, we just run around like morons. We can't stay around the heal ball. Mm-hmm. And then my favorite thing, which we did mention last week when we were talking about the PS5, and it's adaptive triggers. I love saying the word adaptive triggers. It's so good. And we said, man, I sure hope these developers utilize that in the game. Guess what they did in the Borderlands 3 PS5 version? Because when you pulled that trigger, I did the same thing that happened in Astro's Playroom. You're like, pull that trigger, dude. And I went, it didn't go down. And then I squeezed it and I went, oh. And the whole time I played with a Jacob's pistol, I was fanning that hammer and feeling that trigger. Just pow, 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 pow. Shooting felt so amazing with just that one change. A game that we've played hundreds upon hundreds of hours of. It felt brand new just because of that.
Yeah, I love that little freaking haptic feedback going on. The downside of it, though, is it started to hurt my finger. Yeah, like after hours of playing, my finger hurt a little bit, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to get a blister. Oh, this kind of hurts. So now I got to build up my PS5 calluses so I can have all this cool feedback with the gunplay. And in Borderlands, I love it. It feels good. It feels right. I don't mind having it there. If I was playing some competitive game, I wouldn't want that because it does slow you down a little bit. But for this, it's great. And on top of it, like you said, with the PS5 upgrade and the graphics, etc., I feel like in this and in Destiny, I'm just a much better shooter now. Mm-hmm. Like I'm over here popping, making my crits, doing what I got to be doing. Whereas I felt like before, it just seemed blurrier or slower somehow, and I was never able to quite get hit where I wanted to hit. Now, just flying, I'm popping off. Bam! As soon as I put that on round down range, boom, crit, just where I want it to be. It, like you said, it feels fresh, it feels good, and it feels new, just like Destiny did. And I'm like, yep, some beers in me. Some fresh new gameplay. This is where it's at. This is how we're going to roll through again. All these DLCs need some love and attention.
Exactly. This is 100% what I needed. I mean, everybody's heard it on the show. I'm kind of like, yeah, I got in, I played a little bit, and it was fun. But now it's fresh. Now it's new. Now my trigger finger gets tired, and I got to switch over to my SMG so I can just hold the trigger down and not have to worry about going click, 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 click. It's like a brand new game all over again. And I love it even more just because of it. Because I already like the characters, I like the story, but now the actual gameplay feels fresh. The environments feel fresh. Even though I spent God knows how many hours in the Handsome Jackpot, it didn't look like this. It didn't feel like this when I did it before. Now I'm a brand new character in a brand new environment, playing in a brand new way. It's all hot and fresh and new. It's all good.
I agree wholeheartedly. If you got a PS5, get your PS5 Borderlands download because it is amazing. They did such a wonderful job with all the upgrades to it, and I'm glad to see that they did utilize the controller like we stated because they don't have to, and there's already peeps coming out with their upgraded versions that don't.
Yep.
So get in there and check it out because it's so much fun. And you know what? You're going to find a character that you didn't even care about before. And this time you're like, yay, he's my favorite. Hooray. Digby. Goddamn Digby. Getting out of everything, Lazy bastard. Making me do all the work. Singing me a song afterwards like I care. Man.
So speaking of songs, we would love to hear your beautiful voices. All you out there in podcast listener land, sing us a song. Tell us how much you're loving your PS5. Tell us why you can't find your PS5. Tell us how much you love Arms Race. Sing us a song of listener feedback. Send it to us via the email, thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine @ThirdShiftME, and find us on Facebook under Third Shift. Sing us a song of feedback.
Ooh, that beautiful song. And put it on Facebook. Just let everybody know Facebook's still alive. Yeah, totally is. I'm over there having a good time. And, of course, I'm not only over on Facebook singing songs, having a good time. I'm over on Patreon having a good time. You know, we're waiting for that $1 million donation where we're going to have that food line. And we're going to do all sorts of really cool stuff like Babies in Jars and the unpatented, but soon to be patented cold cocks. And if you don't know what that is, well, you know, go listen to some old episodes. Maybe you'll figure it out. Maybe you won't. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We here at Third Shift really appreciate everybody who's gone over there, throwing $1, $2, $3, any kind of bucks our way. It's like a little old tip jar. Instead of buying your PlayStation 5 and Xbox X or Series S, throw us a couple bucks instead and make our lives better. You know what I mean? That's something you could do. And if you can't do that, hey, I get it. I understand. But you can sing us the song and send it in like Matt said. You can give us feedback via the emails and the mailbag questions and all sorts of other cool things. You can go over to Twitch, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. There's a lot of ways that you can hang out and do cool stuff with us and make us go, oh, we so happy.
And there's one more thing you can do for us, and that's listen to the very next episode, which will be dropping on the 17th of December. And you can find that episode on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. And as I always say, if you like what we're doing and you'd like to help us out, give us a like, a rating, review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of those good services, because it does help us out. And we really do appreciate it. See, I realized when we were doing the song, Digby removed sounds like this. We weren't singing like that at all. We screwed it up.
We messed it all up, but there's no way. I was scared if I did the voice, people were going to do something bad and not get in trouble.
But with that, there ain't nothing else to sing but do not forget to save.
Shut up and sit down.